Welcome to the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition podcast, bringing you open and honest conversations about resources in Tuscarawas County. Now here's your host, Jodi Salvo.
Hi, this is Jodi Salvo. Welcome to another edition of the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition podcast. Today I have two guests from the, I always just call you the ESC, Educational Service Center. So why don't you tell us your proper name, full name, your name, and a little bit about what you do.
Happy to. We are East Central Ohio Educational Service Center. So yes, it is a mouthful. And even the initials, ECO ESC, is a mouthful as well. So I actually heard someone call us ECO ESC one time a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that's a good way to remember ECO because a lot of people mix those letters up. But my name is Lori Robson, and I'm the Executive Director of Educational Services at the ESC.
Very good.
And my name is Sarah Spies. I am the Programming and Communications Coordinator for the ECO ESC.
Oh my goodness. Now you guys put so many more initials in there than I ever would. So
Truly.
Listen, I am really glad to have y'all here today because in our COVID world, everything has changed. And you know what? I'll let you guys talk a little bit about what the Educational Service Center does. But one of the reasons we're meeting today is because we have a normal event that happens in person every year. Like, is it year 20?
Mm-hmm.
Year 20.
It's our 20th annual Family Reading Festival.
Okay. So we're here today speaking about the 20th annual Reading Festival that's normally held at Newtown Mall. And my goodness, our agency, our prevention department is always there. And it is always so well attended. But we have a COVID year. So I wanted you all just to let the community know about this particular project and what's happening this year.
Sure. Well, I can share about the Educational Service Center just in general because as a whole, our Educational Service Center serves 5 counties, Tuscarawas County, Guernsey County, Carroll, Harrison, and Belmont counties. We serve 17 school districts in those counties as well as 2 board of DDs and 2 career centers. So our reach is growing, but also it's really nice to be able to work with that many districts and get an insight into the educational world across all those different districts and dynamics, rural, city, et cetera. So, but as an ESC, what we do is we provide services for those school districts.
Okay.
So if they can't afford to have a speech pathologist or a gifted coordinator, we have those people on staff that we then contract out to the school districts. So they only have to pay a portion of that contract. But it's shared services essentially across those school districts, again, which enhances a partnership, saves money, gives people the opportunity to collaborate. So that's the educational side. Nice. But we also do a lot of projects for our community and for community members and parents, et cetera, such as we have driver's education. A lot of people don't realize that the ESC still has driver's ed.
And I know every parent kind of panics when your kids turn 16. And
yes.
Those training programs are expensive and hard to access, and so
yes, they are. So we have them right at the ESC. They can do the bookwork online actually now as a piece part of it, and then the driving, of course, is in the cars with our driver instructors.
That's great because that's a challenge in our normally busy world.
Oh yeah.
If your kids are involved, it's hard even to find those times. So I'm glad that's online now.
Yes, it is, and parents, I know I remember panicking when that 15 and a half came around and what do you do?
This in our life? Yeah.
Right. We also have a full print shop, print center in our building. You can access them online as well. And he can do graphic design and marketing, promotional type things for businesses.
So I'm just going to weigh in here.
Yeah.
I heavily utilize the ESC for the print shop. So for people out there, if you need yard signs, banners, window clings, magnets,
Graduation invitations.
You got it.
Any kind of invitations or T-shirts even he's done.
Mm-hmm. I had a brand new staff the other day, and I know she was looking for a laminator or something. And I'm like, call the ESC. And she's like, I didn't know that existed there. And I'm like, yep.
A lot of people drive past our building and don't realize everything that's housed inside of there
and
as
the prices are great. So, just a plug for the community. If you're looking for some print services, some creative design, it's certainly a phone call worth making.
Thank you for that
absolutely.
promotion there. And one of the other things that we do is we offer one-on-one tutoring after school for for children. And the parents can call into the ESC, which the number is 330 308-9939. They can call in there and we can get them set up with a tutor if their child needs it, which we've had several parents reaching in, especially those that are remote learners this year that may be trying to learn at home. That adds a whole different level of
I'm sure.
expectation and difficulty for parents.
Now, is there a cost to
There is. It's
okay.
$35 an hour, but it's one-on-one, and a lot of parents choose to do 1-hour sessions. Our tutors are also specially trained in Orton-Gillingham, which is for students that are showing difficulty in reading specific to dyslexia, but it does help all students or children that might be having trouble with reading.
Now, would there be a sliding scale or anything?
There is not. That's something we're working on at some point. I hope to get some funding and some grants to be able to offer some of that, because I know that's a need.
During COVID, some of these grant opportunities that are coming down, that would make sense.
Yes, it would. So we're working on that. And I guess
grant writing.
Grant writing. There you go. We do that too. That's all in our department.
Explain that, because some of y'all write for those 21st century grants.
We do. We offer grant writing for our districts. We've done everything from consortium grants for a literacy grant that 6 of our school districts were involved with, as well as 21st century grants, which are after-school program grants that the schools house an after-school tutoring program. But it is more beyond just tutoring academics. It's about community service. It's about work-based learning and getting kids to think about workforce development. And again, just those inner developments and developmental assets that kids need to have to be able to make decisions.
Now, I'm privy because I get to work with the schools, but you all really must work very well with the individual district on your 21st century grants, because I can go into a district and they feel so different from district to district, and they really seem to align with kind of the character, the quality of the building. So some of them are really fun. I mean, I've seen everything from
archery,
yes,
to theater, to Lego clubs, engineering clubs. There was a phys ed club. All of that is introduced as part of that. Again, just building that youth inner self, which is part of the program.
And with the Anti-Drug Coalition or the Prevention Department, that just is music to our ears, because, when we're trying to create healthy, drug-free young persons, it's not just academics, it's the whole person. So, if we can find young people and help them find talents and passions and places to connect, and a lot of those 21 century grants, you have adult instructors and persons that can kind of just mentor our young people. So they're beautiful. Like, those are great grants, and I know y'all have secured those for many years now.
We have. And I guess I would mention our last one that we do for the community, which is also in partnership with our school districts and community organizations, which is the Reading Festival.
Okay.
And I'm going to let Sarah talk a little bit more about that, but in years past, we've had 1,500 families, students come through. So you multiply one child with 2 to 3 adults or siblings that may be with them. And we have filled Newtown Mall in the past.
Nice.
So this year, Sarah is thinking outside of the box. I'm going to let her share a little bit more about what she's come up with this year.
Well, real quick before you start, I want to say my staff always takes a booth at Newtown Mall, and it is their favorite event to go to.
It's so much fun. It really is, because you do all this work. I do all this work in the office, and I get these chances to actually interact with the students that I'm making these programs for.
Nice.
And usually whenever it's at Newtown Mall, we have balloon artists and face painting and all of these community organizations. Like, kids can get their eyes checked. They get to interact with the New Philly Police Department. So it's just a great big community event. And unfortunately, while we can't do that this year, I'm already looking forward to doing it next year, hopefully. We're kind of turning this into a virtual and drive-through event.
Okay.
Our theme this year is Reading Takes You Places.
Aw. I did print out a little bulletin. Yeah. Can you see that, Josh? Can you maybe? Kind of? Okay.
Whoop, it's on our Facebook page.
Very good.
But on our website, if you go to ecoesc.org, we have a page for our reading festival, and I've linked that on our Facebook page and Twitter as well. But you can go on there and find our virtual readers corner, and I've been recording videos of people in the community and people from the ESC reading their favorite children's books, because that's one of our bigger events during the reading festival is our readers corner, and
Nice.
Kids can go and just listen to listen to books. So that's going to be online.
So when you said drive-through, where do you drive through at?
They're going to be driving through at the ECO ESC office, which will actually be a good opportunity for them to, figure out what that building is and what we
seriously, that's brilliant.
And they can drive through and basically families can say, I have a third grader, and we'll give them a bag for a third grader. And it will have, I think we decided 3 books in it this year. Since they can't really pick their books out like they normally would, we have the access, we have the books. I always have leftovers. We're just going to kind of put a variety of books in a bag, plus all of the information from our community organizations. I think we're going to have some coloring pages and other fun little things for the kids. And then they get to drive away with it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But they can also sign up for their door prizes like they normally would.
Okay.
And we'll be giving out those door prizes in the days following.
So where do you get the funding for this project? Because I'm thinking you give a couple books away,
We apply for grants.
Okay.
Every year we've gotten the Heyman Family Foundation grant.
Is that a local one, or I'm not familiar? Okay.
And in the past we've had the Sarah Garcia grant. And then we also just get local sponsorships. So
nice.
I'll send out a sponsorship letter in August or September, seeing if they're interested, and we get between, $50 to $1,500.
Wow. So that's with businesses predominantly?
Yeah. One of our biggest ones is the First National Bank of Denison.
Okay.
Dover Philly Federal Credit Union. They both have always supported us. Buckeye Career Center supports us. They usually do the live broadcast with WJER.
Okay.
Which we can't do the live broadcast this year, but we're still doing some commercials and pieces throughout the week leading up to the Reading Festival.
Wow. So normally you have probably a lot of volunteers to help, or?
Very much so. So anyone who works at the ECO ESC
is working on
can volunteer, which we have, hundreds of employees. We have a lot of employees who are willing to come out and help. And then we also have school students are able to come and help. We usually get high schoolers to do the face painting and what else?
Typically, we have characters.
Oh, yeah, we have the high schoolers.
Characters.
Yes.
We're going to miss out on those this year.
That is.
Can they be standing outside along ice?
If I weren't worried about the weather. But we usually have high school theater students will get to dress up as Pete the Cat or Cookie Mouse. We had Taco Dragon last year.
My goodness.
Elephant and Piggy, Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's so fun. Those costumes are so hot, but those kids are troopers. Seriously. It is one of the more fun.
Yeah, you don't find very many adults that are willing to put those costumes on and walk around the mall for an hour, but those kids jump right in. Take it on.
It's like they're working at Disney. That's what it feels like.
Yes, that's fun.
But I will have to give props to Sarah, because even up until a week ago, we were planning on it being Reading Takes You places around Tuscarawas County and visiting 10 sites. But as Tuscarawas County turned red, we realized that we didn't want to encourage families to be out traveling around 10 different locations. So again, Sarah went back to the drawing board and we came up with this plan. And I think the whole idea is really about promoting literacy and getting books in the hands of kids, because reading to kids, talking to kids is what promotes literacy, promotes their vocabulary development. And that's really what it's about. So, whether we're standing in the parking lot handing them a bag of books or we're in Newtown Mall with 3,000 people, it's all about getting those books in the hands of kids and promoting families to bond together over language and reading. And so Sarah's going to make it happen. She's really good about pulling things together and making it happen. And so we're really excited because it really is a lot of fun no matter what.
I appreciate you kind of speaking about just that family bonding time. I know last night, just with my own family, it's dark at 5. You can't go anywhere. Right. And last night I finally hit that I was kind of disgusted with, I'm just sitting in front of the TV eating food. And I said to my husband, I'm like, we got to have another plan. I said, whether it's reading or, because it's just been rainy and dark and cold. And So just a challenge to families. Reading together is super fun, and our kids enjoy that time. And it's easy. Get on the couch, cuddle on a blanket, get a favorite book, let them read to you, you read to them, create your own story time. But those are all just really important in the growth and development of our young people. But that bonding piece is really important. And I think we also need to find things to do, because I have a feeling this is going to be a really long winter.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we always do with our door prizes is the goal of our door prizes is to continue that engagement. So we always do like board games and just hands-on toys and games that kids can play with their siblings, with their parents, that kind of thing.
Nice.
So we're still doing the door prizes this year, and hopefully we'll continue to get those families to engage together.
Neat. So anything else?
I don't think so. I appreciate the time and being able to get the word out. And again, please come. Families, please come out and see us. Again, It won't take very long, but please stop in, drop your name off.
It's going to be Saturday, November 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the East Central Ohio Educational Service Center in New Philadelphia. Our address is 834 East High Avenue.
Which is near like the old pros table, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all got that?
If you drive down East High, you'll see us on we're a red brick building. We've got a white sign that says East Central Ohio Educational Service Center on it. So we actually just got those signs.
Yes, we did.
In the last year.
Yes. Because again, people drove by and didn't know what the building was.
Well, I'll encourage listeners to share this information. We'll get the flyer out and share it on your social media, grandparents, parents, caregivers. Books are great. It's definitely a great community benefit, and certainly something that's wonderful for our young people and our families. So thank you for providing this and for sharing about what the Educational Service Center does, because there's a lot of stuff that happens there that directly benefits our young people, our schools, ultimately our community. So thank you all for coming today.
Thank you
so much.
I appreciate it.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition podcast. Please follow us on Facebook and visit our website at adctusk.org.